Let's go! All of it in less than 10 minutes!
So the movie begins, and we see a little boy whose parents have passed away. He becomes quite sad, so he moves in with his grandmother. His name is Sam. But he still remained very sad because he missed his parents a lot. His grandmother was very loving and caring, and she took great care of Sam. But even then, Sam wasn't able to adjust there. So his grandmother tells him that, okay, I will bring you the stomach. Play with it. Make it your friend and share everything in your heart with it. And then, within a few days, his grandmother gifts him a mouse. That is, a little rat. Sam was really happy to have the mouse, and he spent most of his time with it. He would always tell his grandmother, "Grandma, mice live such fun lives. They don't wear any clothes and just play around in their own fur." One day, Sam was playing in his room. He was with his mouse outside. A witch was watching him, and her gaze was quite strange. At the same time, Sam's grandmother's health started to get much worse. But after a little while, her health returns to normal. So she says to Sam, "Come on, son, let's go out for a walk." And then the two of them go shopping at a store. For a short while, Sam gets separated from her, and a lady approaches him who is actually a witch. She offers Sam some chocolate. This was the same witch who had been watching their house that day. She says to Sam, "Come here, dear child." She was about to take control of him. In other words, she was hypnotizing him, and that witch had a strange-looking snake with her as well. But just then, Sam's grandmother manages to free herself and calls out to Sam. So when Sam sees her, he starts running towards his grandmother, and the witch quickly leaves from there. When they get home, Sam tells his grandmother, "Grandma, that woman at the store was talking to me in a really strange way. She was giving me all sorts of tasty chocolates and telling me to listen to her, and she even had a snake with her." So his grandma tells him, "My dear, that woman was a witch. That's why we always tell you not to take anything to eat from strangers, because someone might have put something in it. And most importantly, if she was a witch, why would you ever take anything from her? She was definitely trying to trap you." Let me tell you a story from my own childhood. I was about 10 years old, and I had a friend too. We were both going somewhere, but suddenly, as we were walking, my friend disappeared, and when I looked for her, I saw a strange woman giving her chocolate. She was a witch, in fact. You could say she was the head of all witches. So I took my friend and left that place, and the next day, while my mother was tying my ponytail, I saw my friend transform right before my eyes into a chicken hen. That means the witch must have cast some magic on her. Or maybe there was something in the chocolate she ate. That's why, ever since I was a child, I've always kept my distance from witches, and you should never take anything from them or go near them either. If anyone like that ever comes around, tell me right away. Sam's grandmother says, "Son, we'll leave this place soon, because our house has caught the attention of the witches, and they always attack poor people first." There was a 5-star hotel a little ahead of their house where the grandmother had a safe head. She got along very well with the hotel manager, so she asked him and arranged a small room for themselves. In other words, the hotel manager was a good person. So the grandmother and Sam moved into that hotel. They could go wherever they wanted. But then, something strange happened suddenly. A lot of witches start arriving at the hotel. It turns out they have some kind of meeting, and they're planning to have a lavish dinner together. All the witches were extremely fashionable. When they arrive, they meet the manager and say, "You know who we are?" They request a small hall for their meeting. Actually, their plan is to kidnap all the children or give them chocolates laced with their magical potion, so that as soon as the kids eat them, they'll all turn into animals. Because, according to them, all the children here are very naughty and don't even deserve to exist in this world. Now, we don't have enough time to pick out just the naughty kids, so we'll target all the children. Night falls, and Sam is talking to his grandmother. It's raining outside. Sam asks, "Grandma, what do witches look like?" So his grandmother replies, "Son, their fingers are very long and their nails are really dirty. That's why, my dear, they wear gloves. Even their hair isn't nice. That's why she wears wigs and big hats." And hearing all this, Sam was quite scared, especially since there was a storm raging outside. The next morning, poor Sam was feeling bored. So he took his pet mouse and went into a hall to play. But just then, The whole group of witches arrived there. They had come for a meeting. Seeing them, Sam got frightened and quickly hid himself. One of the elder witches starts to catch his scent, but she can't spot him anywhere. So she goes ahead and starts the meeting. Now all the witches were seated on their chairs, and right in front of them stood their head witch. She takes out a potion and shows it to them, saying that this is a magical potion. If you put just one drop of this into a chocolate or any candy, that candy will be affected by it, meaning it will be able to turn children into animals. She starts explaining more about it when suddenly she catches Sam's scent again. She begins sniffing around the stage, and the way her nose and face look is both disgusting and quite funny. Finally, the Grand Witch lifts up the entire stage and throws it aside, but there's no one underneath. But right behind it, there's a window for ventilation, and that's where she spots Sam. She's just about to catch him when suddenly a healthy child appears. She's the son of one of the guests there. All the witches rush toward him and catch him. He was quite fond of eating and drinking, so when the witches see him, they say, "We can trap him just like this," and they give him the same chocolate in which they had mixed that potion. The boy eats the chocolate, and then he transforms into a tiny mouse. Seeing the mouse, the witches themselves start to get scared, and they're just about to crush him under their heels when suddenly Sam comes out from the ventilation window and takes the mouse with him. But Sam made a mistake by doing this, because all the witches see him and catch him. Then they pour a dose of that drop into his ear, which turns Sam into a mouse as well. Now Samas, a mouse, and a mouse that was the healthy boy, immediately run away from there. Sam's pet mouse is with them too. So we find out that she was actually a little girl, and the witch had also turned her into a mouse by giving her chocolate. The three of them become really good friends, and they say that they will definitely take revenge on those witches. So he immediately goes to his grandmother and tells her, "Grandma, the witches turned us into mice." So his grandmother says, "She turned my children into mice. I will definitely take revenge on those witches." Now Sam tells his grandmother, "The funny thing is, the room where the witches are staying, their balcony is visible from our balcony." So grandma gets an idea and says, "I'm knitting a pair of socks. I'll put you inside it and lower you down. You steal her potion and bring it back up, and then I'll fix you all too." So that's exactly what she does. Grandma puts her grandson Sam inside the socks and starts lowering him down. Sam is really scared, but the witch isn't there at that moment. Then Sam grabs the potion and comes back up. Now, just as his grandma is pulling up the socks, the witch spots her and grabs the socks tightly. So Sam's grandmother says, "Let go, please. I was just knitting this, and it fell down, so I'm pulling it back up." So the witch says, "How come?" And she's just about to check. And if she had seen, she would have killed poor Samte Mouse. But just then the hotel manager arrives, and because of that, she lets go of the socks. Now, the potion has reached Grandma upstairs. She pours it onto a plate and lets the mice take turns tasting it. But nothing happens. The potion has no effect, because it was meant to turn humans into animals, not animals into humans. So Sam says, "Grandma, since we can't be cured, why don't we put this potion into the witch's soup, the one they're going to drink today? Besides, you can get close to them, can't you?" Grandma says, "Wow, kids, what a brilliant idea." Then she takes the three mice and the potion, puts them in her bag, and heads to where the witch's soup is being prepared. There she pours the potion into the soup. While she's doing this, the hotel manager spots Grandma and says, "Are these your mice? You really shouldn't bring them into the kitchen. If these are your pets, then you've done something really disgusting." Grandma replies, "These mice aren't mine. You can check everything if you want." Grandma had hidden the mice in the corner of her bag, but when the manager checks her room and her belongings, he can't find any mice anywhere, so he feels quite embarrassed. Grandma says, "I'm going to file a case against you. How could you just search someone's room like that? Just wait and see, police will shut your hotel down." The manager gets scared and says, "Please forgive me. I made a mistake. Please have dinner on the house, and I sincerely apologize to you." So Grandma succeeds in her plan here, and on top of that, she even gets a free meal. And just then, it's also time for the witches' dinner. The witches had the soup made exclusively for themselves, and the best part was that by drinking that very soup, they would all turn into mice. As soon as the witches drink the soup, right before everyone's eyes, all the witches start turning into mice. Seeing this, Grandma was absolutely delighted, and I was having a great time watching it too. All the workers there, along with Grandma herself, start killing those mice. But there was one bad thing. The head witch still hadn't tasted the soup, so she didn't turn into a mouse. So the 3 mice set a trap for her. With great cunning, they slipped the trap onto her finger, causing the witch to start screaming. Then they quickly pour the potion into her mouth, and she too turns into a mouse. But she was a bit bigger than the other mice, so they all lock her up in a glass cup. Then Grandma places a cat in front of the witch-turned mouse, and who knows, maybe the cat will kill her or eat her. Now Grandma is very happy, and she puts all 3 mice into her bag and leaves the hotel, because she no longer has to fear the witches. She could even live in her own home now. Outside, we see that the healthy boy's parents are extremely worried, wondering where their son has gone. But his mom was actually quite mean. She never really loved her son anyway. And when her son tries to speak to her in his mouse voice, she gets scared and says, "You keep him, I'm not going to take care of him." So the mouse just says, "All right then, at least I have my friends now, and honestly, I'm glad to be rid of her." Now Grandma brings all 3 mice home with her and feeds them. The 3 mice were happier than ever with their new lives and new friends, and Grandma took wonderful care of them. The funny thing was, the 3 mice never wanted to become human again. They enjoyed themselves, played around, and had lots of fun, while Grandma felt happy just watching them. And with that, the movie comes to a happy ending.